Good afternoon, everyone. It's me, Coach 67 Sports TV. Shout out to the awesome and amazing LDBC, Lions Den Boston community. Shout out to the greatest university in the world, the Southern University, home of the mighty Jaguars. This is episode 30 of Bayou Sports Talk. Let me introduce my co-host for the day. Raymond, what's up? Speak to him, King Ray.
Yo, what's up, y'all? King Ray here. Y'all can follow me on Instagram is King Ray. Ray Swank on YouTube. So just ready to talk about the topics that we're gonna touch on today. And just hope y'all enjoy. And I'm pretty positive y'all gonna enjoy the show today.
All right, our first topic for the day. Former LSU wide receiver Kayshon Boutte. All right, recently it was discovered that he was betting on games, football games, while he was at LSU. And in particular, he was betting on his own games, which is kind of insane to me. So what are your thoughts on the Kayshon Boutte situation, right?
They always say if you're gonna bet on somebody, bet on yourself. So why not? At least he was betting on something he know he could control. But man, I don't want to say it's sad because I think when Kayshon Boutte was playing, I don't think they had NIL deals yet. I think it might have came like the year after. NIL deals was just like getting started. But them college players be needing money, so I'm pretty sure he wasn't doing it. I don't think it was like the Calvin Ridley situation in the NFL, because it's like you making millions, like, you know what I'm saying? If not millions, thousands of dollars per week. So, but the Kayshon Boutte situation, I feel like, it's just a typical college kid, don't really got no money. So he like, man, I'm a bet and I'm a gamble. I guess it was a way for him to make money. Was it right? No, but I feel like, I get if that was his motive because he didn't have no money, I can understand that. But if it was pretty much any other thing, if he was just doing it just because, then yeah, that's just straight up stupid. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I mean, the thing about it is he was such a highly touted prospect, depending on what recruiting service you look at, some had him rated as 4-star, some 5-star. He was supposed to be his NFL prospect. And I remember at the beginning of the year, basically they played against Southern, and I'm gonna just be truthful. I was thoroughly unimpressed, in his performance. He didn't get a whole lot of touches. And I mean, just truthfully speaking, it's like I wasn't moved by him. And then, of course, the say they played against Southern, Jaden Daniels really didn't target him a lot anyway. So, seeing how he progressed through the season last year, basically he was like, hey, I'm coming back to LSU for my senior year. Then all of a sudden, he decided, I'm going to go to draft. And he had a scandal where evidently him and one of the other coaches, or whoever the case may be, they had an inappropriate relationship with a female employee. So he decided to go in the draft. He fell several rounds. Now this scandal coming out, and basically it makes the situation look even worse for Kayshon Boutte. I mean, I don't know if he gonna shake back from it, but I hope everything works out for him. But the way it's looking like, since he actually bet on the game, they showed games that he potentially bet on. He dropped a lot of passes, Raymond. So from what I'm understanding, he could be looking at, some serious time, but hopefully everything work out for him. First and foremost, shout out to my brother, Big Joe Townsend. Salute, Big Joe. Shout out to my brother, co-host for the Mars Show, Southern Baller Show, Jared O'Lovin Green. Salute to you, bro. And salute to Walk 'em Down around Big Steppy. What's good with your family? So, anything else you want to address in terms of the Kayshon Boutte situation? Are you ready to move on to the next topic, Ram?
I guess I got a quick question. That's going to affect. He most likely going to get suspended from the NFL too, right?
I'm thinking he is a possibility. I mean, we don't know all the inner workings and all the dynamics of the situation. It seems as if more information comes out, we have a better understanding.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, from all accounts and all the reports I hear, basically, like the situation not looking good for him. You know what I'm saying? So, we'll just see how things play out for him.
Yeah.
Next topic: the Milwaukee Bucks fired Adrian Griffin and hired Doc Rivers. What do you think about that particular situation, Ram?
Man, I was kind of surprised that they fired him. It's not like, the Milwaukee Bucks was doing horribly, but that go to show you things be going on, within the organization. You don't know what things might have been reported to the front office that they might not like even though they was winning, they might not like what a coach is, or they think the culture in the locker room and the team could have been better. Or they probably just wanted Doc Rivers, and they like, we got to get this dude out of here just so we could get Doc Rivers. There's all kind of things that go on, but I was surprised because rarely, unless it's like a scandal, like the Ime Udoka type of situation where something happens in the middle of the season and it comes out, that's the only time you would expect a coach to get fired in the middle of the season when some type of scandal or something happens. But yeah, for him to get fired in the middle of the season and then they go get Doc Rivers, is like it tells me like, man, they fired him just so they could go get Doc Rivers. It's almost like a girl breaking up with you. Then all of a sudden, a week later, you see her dating this new guy, and it's like, you've been planning to go get with this guy. That's why you broke up with me. You didn't break up with me because you wasn't in love with me no more. You broke up with me just because you was ready to get with him. So I think the Milwaukee Bucks, they probably been wanting to get with Doc Rivers, and they just had to let him go.
I agree 100% in this particular situation. I mean, truthfully speaking, a lot of issues the Bucks were having. It wasn't an Adrian Griffin problem. I mean, it wasn't his fault they can't stop a nosebleed defensively. I mean, if you're gonna fire him, I was gonna fire general manager too. So, truthfully speaking, I don't think that was a issue of Doc Rivers. And more than anything, they're a championship caliber team in terms of them being a contender. So it was like they were wildly inconsistent. They could lose to you know a bad team one night, and then the next night they turn around and beat the Celtics. So I don't think that was an Adrian Griffin problem. Uh, in fact, truthfully speaking, I don't think it's basketball related. Like you say, I think that was more of a political move from the standpoint of, in the NBA, a lot of teams, they want these high profile coaches. And Doc Rivers, even though he won a championship with the Boston Celtics, I mean, he's had a lot of playoff letdowns to quote unquote. Like if you're looking, for example, when he was the head coach at Orlando Magic, I know Grant Hill couldn't play that particular year because he had the injuries he had, but they were up 3-1 on the Detroit Pistons, and the Pistons came back and won that series. So he's done that with the Orlando Magic, and he's also done that with the LA Clippers. So it's crazy to say that he keeps getting job after job after job. I mean, don't get me wrong, he has a championship pedigree, but I think in this particular context, it really has nothing to do with basketball. It kind of the analogy you made with your girlfriend breaking up with you, and you see she dated a new guy like a week later. It's that type of situation. I don't feel like it really had anything to do with basketball. I think maybe the players on the team, whether it was Giannis, Dame Dollar, whoever, I don't think it was feeling him, or maybe the front office wasn't feeling him, and they just decided to go in a different direction. But either way, I don't think this a basketball related move personally. I think it's more the fact that I think they was looking for more of a high profile coach as far as I'm concerned. Because from an X and O standpoint, in terms of them being like mediocre defensively, I don't think Doc Rivers could fix that problem. Because last time I checked, Doc Rivers' playing career, it ended a long time ago. So he not give him a shot in the arm defensively. So I mean, I don't know, So anything else you want to add in terms of the Doc Rivers, Adrian Griffin situation for the Bucks?
Nah.
All right, moving on to the next topic. All right, there's been a surge from a scoring standpoint in the NBA. Luka Doncic, he had a game where he scored 73 points this season. Joel Embiid, 70 points. Giannis scored 64 points. Karl Anthony Towns, 62. Devin Booker scored 62 points in the game also. This surge in scoring, Raymond, what do you attribute it to as a individual that watches NBA games?
The issue that the Milwaukee Bucks. It's not the issue that the Milwaukee Bucks has. It's not just their issue either. It's the whole NBA issue. Nobody plays defense.
Yeah.
Like the Pelicans put up like 140 like a good bit of times this year, and that's just something that's just normal.
Yeah, they scored 153 against the Utah Jazz, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. Then they scored 40 against the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah.
And it's like that's just the new norm in the NBA. Whenever I see a team score 130 something points, 150 points, like that's kind of like normal. Now, if it get to like 160, 170, I'd be like, oh my gosh, that's a lot of points. But the fact that a team could score like that wasn't even really I ain't gonna say it wasn't fathomable, but it was like a rare occurrence for a team to get 150 points dropped on them. But it's like the new normal now, you know. So that's what the current state of the NBA is. So with 150 points and stuff being dropped, of course you're gonna have players dropping 70 and stuff. And I was watching a video, somebody was saying how somebody gonna end up, you know, touching that Kobe Bryant record. Somebody gonna get to somebody gonna get to 82 points in the game. And it goes to show you how people went crazy about Kobe dropping like 81 points. It goes to show you how much defense they had in the NBA at that time. But now it's like, nah, bro. Like you could score 70-some points and score half of your team points. When Kobe dropped 81 points, that was literally majority of the team's points. If you think about it, you know. So, man, it really doesn't come as a surprise. It's just the new norm. You know, I guess I can make a reference to the NFL. Was it normal for quarterbacks to be throwing for 500 yards and 400 yards? And
Nope.
All right, then. So it's just the new norm, and I wouldn't say NFL defenses have gotten trash. It's just, you know, the game is evolving. So I guess the NBA game is evolving, but like we said before, defenses are still kind of like trash. You know, and I don't want to go too long, but I'm gonna quickly say this. I feel like we could partially blame it on the refs. Because if we didn't watch an NBA that was so soft, where if you breathe on the player that was calling the foul, we would have more defense. People would be more aggressive on defense. It would be harder for people to score. But it's like when you got somebody like James Harden who could get majority 60 of his points from the free throw line, you know what I'm saying? So you could blame it on teams not playing defense, and as well you could I feel like you could blame it on the refs and the league just becoming soft over time. And the same thing with the NFL. You can't really hit nobody no more. You know what I'm saying? You got to protect. You got to be a defensive player and keep in mind to protect an offensive player. Like you can't hit an offensive player a certain way. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it just comes with the game. The more softer they make the game, that's the more cadence is gonna. The more it's gonna cater towards the offense. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, I agree 100%. I don't think it's more of a situation where Devin Booker or Giannis or Luka or Embiid, these guys are more proficient scorers than maybe somebody like Akeem Olajuwon, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, those type of players. Like you said, the game is softer from the standpoint of basically, you know, the game is more catered towards offense more in the NBA and the NFL than years past. Like you said, from an NBA standpoint, you know, you can't hand check, you can't forearm check. It's more of a free-flowing game. They want these high-scoring games. They want a lot of points scored. And as a result, you're going to see players put up these type of numbers. And, you know, they always talk about, you know, how in the 80s, you know, if you look at the Celtics and the Lakers and the Detroit bad boy Pistons, like, man, you talked about, you know, driving to the, like nowadays, you know, if you're a player, you driving the lane, you're not worried about a shot block or nobody trying to take your head off. Man, in those days, man, you driving to the goal, guess what? You better keep your head on swivel. And like you said, even in the NFL, man, you see players go over the middle and they have no fear of getting their head. I mean, just think about it. Man, in the 80s, you talking about a crossing route and a slant going going over the middle, man, you literally might get your head knocked off. You know what I'm saying? Not only that, but even from a pass rusher standpoint, if you're a pass rusher, man, they got the Tom Brady rule. You can't hit him in the knees. You only allow 2 steps to the quarterback. Man, you play ball. You're a quarterback in the 80s. There's no way you was gonna have all these 3, 4, and 500-yard passing days because the game was more catered towards the defense, whereas now it's more catered towards the offense. They want these high-scoring games in both the NFL and the NBA. That's why it's more up-tempo, it's more run and gun in both sports. So I think that's more, attributed to, the style of play, like you said, officiating. Like I say, in the NBA, you can't hand check no more. You can't form check. You can't do none of that. They want more of a free-flowing game. I mean, just somebody that watched Jordan play a lot, man, I just hate to fathom with Jordan, how many points he would score in the days modern NBA. I mean, don't get me wrong. His 3-ball wasn't, he wasn't a shooter like somebody like Steph or Clay or anybody like that, but just from somebody that was able to get to the free throw line often and that was real efficient from a scoring standpoint, man, shit, he might score about 900 points in the days NBA. But, like I said, it's just a different league, different day, different time. So anything else you have on this particular, scoring?
No, not really.
All right. The next topic. The NBA starters for the All-Star team has been announced in terms of, the starters. For the East, you have Joel Embiid, you have Giannis, you have Jason Tatum, you have Tyrese Halliburton, you have Damian Lillard. In the West, you have LeBron James, Kevin Durant, you have the Joker, you have Luka, and you have Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. And, of course, for their respective teams, LeBron James and Giannis are the 2 team captains. So what do you think about the All-Star selection for each team?
I mean, All-Star selection, I mean, you can't argue with that. With the All-Star game as a whole, where Cat Williams at? Because it's a joke. Because it's like, dog. It's like literally the last topic we was talking about. We literally should have continued it to this. You know what they was doing last year in the All-Star game? They was getting the ball, letting the other team come down to the court and be like, hit a shot. There's like they go down to the other side of the court, like you hit a shot. Like they was having a 3-point contest in the All-Star game. Like there was no defense. It's like, what is this? And I was talking to one of my coworkers about the NFL Pro Bowl. These dudes playing flag.
7-on-7. That's all it is.
I'm like, dog, I ain't about to watch this. Like, man, no. So it's like, man, dog, don't get me. I know we're supposed to be talking about the start lineup, but man, the whole NBA All-Star as a whole, like, dog, it's like when you look at the dunk contest, the people that's supposed to be in the dunk contest is not in there. They having their own personal dunk contest during the NBA game. I mean, during the NBA All-Star game.
All-Star game, yeah.
Same thing with the 3-point contest. The dudes that's supposed to be in the 3-point contest are having their own personal 3-point contest during the All-Star game. Then the All-Star game is just we play harder than that in PE. Me and you could go on a basketball court and play a harder game than that. And I get it. It's the middle of the season. Y'all don't want to hurt yourself. But at least put on a competitive show. They put on a show with all the ooh, ahs. Like, look at him. He could shoot a shot from half court. Bro, we don't care about that no more.
Yeah.
Caitlin Clark is shooting shots from half court now. I could go watch women's basketball if I don't see somebody shoot half court shots. It's like, dog, play with the intensity and the tenacity. And I guess I can even speak to women's basketball. That's why women's basketball is growing. I know this, I'm getting off the topic, but I'm going to touch on this real quick. That's probably why women's basketball is growing. Not saying that women's basketball shouldn't grow, but women's basketball, they're starting to play with more intensity than the men. That's all I'm going to say. But as far as the NBA All-Star starting lineup, cool, it's perfect. I mean, you really can't complain with that. But the thing is, the actual All-Star game itself, I don't care who starts. If nobody's going to play with any intensity or tenacity, what's the whole point of watching it? I just don't want to watch LeBron shoot warm-up shots in the game. I want to actually see him play. But
yeah.
That's all I got to say about that.
No, I ain't gonna lie. You brought up an excellent point. We know in terms of the voting, it's just a glorified popularity contest. That's why I was surprised somebody like Shea Gilchrist-Alexander, how he actually got voted in. They talk about individuals that were snubbed, like maybe Jalen Brunson. So, I mean, you can always have these individuals that are going to have a case, hey, I should make it over Damian Lillard, so on and so forth. But you're right in terms of like the actual game itself, like it's no intensity in it in terms of this. They're not playing with any real sense of urgency. I mean, it's always been like that, but I think it's gotten worse. And then the new format with, we playing quarter by quarter. You got to get to a certain amount of points in each quarter, and then you tally it up all. I'm like, man, it's too confusing. You know what I'm saying? It's like, man, this is hard to follow. Just give me the old game where they didn't play hard for 3 quarters, but guess what? When the 4th quarter rolled around, and they knew, hey, the team that wins, they're gonna get X amount of more, 1,000 more. Now, hey, we finna turn up in the 4th quarter, and we're gonna get after it. But it's to the point now they're not even doing that much. And like you said about the Pro Bowl, man, all it is glorified 7-on-7. You know what I'm saying? I mean, don't get me wrong. I know 7-on-7 is big. In fact, even myself, I'm supposed to get a 7-on-7 team coming up. But even with that being said, for me as a coach, it's cool for me to coach 7-on-7. But I don't want to see 7-on-7 for the Pro Bowl. I mean, basically, the Pro Bowl is a flag football game. So it's, you right, Raymond, it's getting ridiculous. It's getting out of hand. So, let me continue with the comments in the comment section. My brother, welcome now, Ram. Big step and salute, coach. Joe Towns, salute the Ram. What's up, cuz? And he said, Ram was like, damn, they got Doc now. Yes, they do. Doc Rivers is the new head coach. Let's see. Saying salute to the brother Jared 11 Green. He was saying facts. When I was a youngin', 100 points was hard to believe. I mean, that's the thing about it. But it's to the point now where, I don't think 100 points in a game would be a stretch. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the way they're going, so it's crazy. Yeah, Mike would be good for 80 or 90 points in the league now in the game. Oh, I mean, easily. I mean, as soft as the game is nowadays, and as free flowing as it is, oh man, and especially all the calls he got. If you really weren't in that era, don't get me wrong, superstar players still get favorable calls, but MJ got a lot of favorable calls. And as proficient as a scorer as he was, the killer mentality he had, man, it would be easy for him to get between 85 and 90 points in the game. And basically, he was like, the whole world is soft now. Yeah, I mean, and that's a very valid point. We're not just talking about in the realm of sports. We're just talking about like just across the board, in every aspect of life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, even someone like myself that's a teacher and a coach, like some things that, we go through, that the kids go through now, I mean, of course you don't condone that, but just say, for example, like bullying, I think we all went through something where, we were bullied on some level, when we were in school, whether it was by teammates, whether it was by peers, whatever the case may be. And it's to a point where, we understood that, these type of things, they toughen you up and they make you better people and you grow from it. But it's from a standpoint now where, I mean, like the kids, they really can't handle the kind of things we went through when we were kids, And don't get me wrong, from a bullying standpoint, I'm not saying I condone bullying or anything like that, but I'm just saying it's just a different world we live in. It's more politically correct. You can't say anything that offends anyone. So, like, we just living in a different world. It's crazy times we living in, and we could see that in sports in terms of just the NBA is soft, the NFL is soft. I mean, it's just crazy. You know what I'm saying? So, proceeding to the next topic. There's been a surge in the hiring of black coaches in the NFL. Of course, recently the Atlanta Falcons, they hired Raheem Morris. Now, they passed on Bill Belichick to hire Raheem Morris. In addition to that, the Raiders hired Antonio Pierce. The Patriots already had Gerard Mayo. So there's been a surge in black coaches being hired in the NFL. In addition to that, we already know Jim Harbaugh. He left the Michigan Wolverines to take the head coaching job for the LA Chargers. But even they hired Sharon Moore to replace him. So what do you think of the surge in black coaches being hired just in general, but more so in the NFL?
Oh man, you love to see it. You love to see it. We've been saying it for the longest. Like like we lack black coaches in the NFL. We lack black coaches in college football. It's like, why can't we coach our people? You know what I'm saying? We were saying that for a long time, and even like you notice the locker room, like how the Raiders responded to him, Antonio Pierce being the head coach. You can even look at the Houston Texans. I know he was the head coach, or not the head coach already. He's not a newly hired head coach, but he was the head coach this past season.
Mm-hmm.
How certain locker rooms respond to certain type of coaches. You know what I'm saying? So it's like Gerard Mayo. He was with the organ. He played for that organization.
Yeah.
So it's like to never complain about it. As far as we seen, I haven't really seen anything negative about it.
Mm-hmm.
You could look at somebody like Deion Sanders, bro. Honestly, I would play for Deion Sanders, not over LSU. If I had an offer between LSU and Colorado, I would pick LSU because
I know that. Hey, our viewers might not know that, but trust me, I know that already.
Right. It's all because LSU would represent the state of Louisiana. I would value representing the state of Louisiana. But if I didn't have an offer from LSU, hands down, it would be Deion Sanders. It would be a coach that looks like me, that understands me, that understands the way that I sweat, the way that I swag, that understands the type of culture that I come from, the music that I like, that just understands you, that really genuinely understands you, not understanding you just so they could get something out of you. They understand you because they come from where you come from, So I feel like, that's something that's really good. And, we're not going to sit here and act like majority of these leagues, the NBA, the NFL, college football, they got majority African-American players, So we ought to have some coaches that cater to us. I'm not saying every coach should be African-American. We should have some black coaches, some white coaches, some Asian coaches, Hispanic coaches. But when you look at the amount of African-American players that's in these leagues, we ought to have coaches that cater to us. So, I definitely love the surge of hiring black coaches.
Yeah, and before I actually get to that, Raymond, Douglas White, what's up, coach? What's good with you, bro? You brought up an excellent point, Raymond. And, just truthfully speaking, someone like myself that's a black coach, it's refreshing to see, the surge in hiring NFL coaches. And the reason why the Rooney Rule was put in place in the NFL is because a lot of these coaches, like basically like black coaches, they couldn't even get interviews, you know what I'm saying? So that was the reason why the Rooney Rule was put in place, basically to give black coaches a fair chance. I'm not gonna say a fair chance because it's really still not fair, but at least give you kind of like affirmative action, just to kind of give you opportunity to get your foot in the door. And in many instances, a lot of times just say, for example, we're gonna look at somebody like Eric Bieniemy. Hopefully, with the couple jobs they have left, hopefully he can get one of those jobs. But, truthfully speaking, in years past, what would happen is you would have somebody like him. They would be, just say a few years ago, they would get one interview, they won't get the job, then they would get another interview. But after they got interviewed multiple times, maybe but the fifth try, he might eventually get a head coaching job, So, it's kind of interesting to see that, we have this surge in black coaches being hired. But more than anything, I think the NFL, just like the NBA, is a copycat league. So, we see the success that the Houston Texans had. I mean, I'll be willing to say, you're going to have more black coaches get hired. And I think you're going to even see the trickle-down effect with the way they drafted in terms of, them getting a rookie quarterback and CJ Stroud. I could see more teams doing that. So I think more than anything, I think we live in a copycat league, copycat society. So I think, hopefully this could be a positive thing in terms of, a surge of more black head coaches being hired. Because, that's one thing, me personally, in terms of, at one point, Alcorn State, when it was white champs, they had a white head coach. And I'm like, look, the jobs for black coaches are already limited as it is. So in addition to them getting majority of the jobs in the NFL, even though just like you said, in both in college football and in the NFL, majority of the players are black, overwhelmingly, you know what I'm saying? So the fact that, most of the players are black and white coaches have most of the jobs in the NFL and in college. So you're going to come over to the HBCU run, you're going to get a head coaching job. And, that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I know certain people was like, oh, coach, why it has to be racial. But I mean, we have to be honest, we black men living in America, it's not a fair, it's not a fair society we living in terms of equity and equality and that type of thing. So, we just got to be honest about the situation. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, we're going to address the elephant in the room. We're not going to acknowledge it, not acknowledging it and act like it's not a thing. And, more than anything, we want to see more black people in, ownership positions, in front office positions in terms of general managers and, overall leadership positions in terms of being, head coaches and even on the field in terms of like, being quarterbacks. Because at one point, it was taboo to have a black quarterback. So, it's refreshing to see that, we moving in a different, in a different way in terms of, hiring more black head coaches and so on and so forth. So hopefully all these coaches do well, well, even Raheem Morris, I hope he does well. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still want the Saints to win the NFC South. I mean, let's be clear. But even with that being said, I hope he does well. And not just him, but, all other black coaches, Todd Bowles, whoever, and I mean, they won the NFC South and, they made it further in the playoffs than we thought. So, we know the NFL is a copycat league, but hopefully all these black head coaches have, success and they do well. So anything you want to add for this particular topic, Raymond, before we get to our last topic?
No, congratulations to all the coaches.
Yeah, big time. And like I said, shout out to the brother Douglas White again. What's up, coach? What's good with you, bro? So our final topic. The conference championship games will be tomorrow. Of course, we have the Ravens and the Kansas City Chiefs. They're playing against each other. And we also have the San Francisco 49ers and the Detroit Lions. Who do you have in those two conference championship games, Raymond, and who you think is going to the Super Bowl from those two games?
Oh, I wasn't on the last show to bring this up, but I called it, man. The Eagles collapsed.
You said it. Well, I acknowledge you on the last show, and of course, we shouted you out because just like we told the viewers, you were a little bit under the weather, but you were 100% accurate. I picked the Eagles and the Ravens to go to the Super Bowl. You were right. The Eagles did collapse. So we talked about it on the last show. I don't know if you saw, but proceed.
But, I got the 49ers and the Ravens going to the Super Bowl. That's who I got going to the Super Bowl. I think we've been saying it for a while. I feel like a lot of people have been saying it for a while.
Yeah.
And, this is Lamar Jackson's year. Brian Clark even said it. It's not just for Lamar Jackson to get to the Super Bowl. And I know this is going to be his first time in the Super Bowl, but dog, you got to go to the Super Bowl and you got to win that thing. I'm sorry, you don't have that grace of, oh man, it's my first time at the Super Bowl type of loss. Like, no, you can't lose. We've been waiting too long for you to get here for you just to lose. Like, now you got to go win this thing. You know what I'm saying? So the people want a Detroit Lions versus the Rams Super Bowl, and I don't blame them. But honestly, I'd rather see the Baltimore Ravens smack up the 49ers than them smack up the Detroit Lions. But yeah, that's what I got. I got the Ravens winning tomorrow against the Chiefs, and I don't think it's going to be close. I don't think it's going to be one of them Patrick Mahomes shootout games because I don't think Lamar Jackson is a shootout type of quarterback. Lamar Jackson is a type of quarterback where he has a good defense and they control the ball and they just run the ball on you and put up points, run the ball on you and put up points. And I feel like they're gonna stop the Chiefs. Travis Kelce, I heard that he's thinking about retiring, so his mind is on Taylor Swift and retiring. So I don't think Travis Kelce here gonna be in the game tomorrow. So Patrick Mahomes, all the receivers dropping passes, and the Ravens got a phenomenal defense.
Mhm.
So I feel like the Ravens gonna come to play, and Lamar just gonna do Lamar Jackson type of ordeals, you know. So I know ESPN gonna talk about the score might be 28-24, but man, I see the score being 38, baby, to like 20 or something like that. So I feel like the Ravens are going to get it done in a dominant fashion. But as far as the Detroit Lions and the 49ers, that's going to be the shootout game. And I guarantee a lot of people, ESPN going to have the opposite. ESPN going to have the Ravens and the Chiefs having the shootout and the 49ers dominating the Lions. But I have the 49ers having the shootout with the Lions. I feel like it's going to come down to the experience. I don't know if Deebo Samuel going to be playing, but
That's
I
a
feel
big
like
factor.
because that is going to be a very big factor. But and that's if he don't play, that's another reason why that game is going to be really close. I feel like it's going to come down to the experience of the 49ers defense and down to the experience of like Christian McCaffrey and George Kittle. You know, Brock Purdy is a game manager, but he's not built for those type of moments. We got to remember, Jared Goff got to the Super Bowl. He been in this position once. That time he did go to the Super Bowl, he shouldn't have.
Via of our Saints.
Right.
Via our Saints, yeah.
But he did get there, you know, and had one of the most boringest Super Bowls ever. But
well, I ain't gonna lie. Maybe you watched it. I boycotted. I didn't even watch.
I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it either. I did not want to watch it.
Yeah.
I seen the score and I seen people talking about how boring it was. But yeah, what I'm bringing that up to say Jared Goff does have the experience as a quarterback. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't call Jared Goff a game manager. I would put Jared Goff in the tier above a game manager. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's going to be the game. That's going to be a shootout. I got the 49ers edging it out, you know, due to their experience and them being in the playoffs and making it to the Super Bowl several times before. So I got the 49ers winning a close one and the Ravens winning it in a dominant fashion.
Well, I'm going to partially agree with you. Of course, the Ravens was my Super Bowl pick from the AFC. You know, they're still alive. And more than anything, like you said, I want to see Lamar Jackson win the Super Bowl, but not only that, I want to see the first all-black quarterback room go to the Super Bowl and win it, you know, because people don't realize, like, you know, usually, you know, even if you do have a starting quarterback like a Michael Vick or Randall Cunningham or Warren Moon, you know, usually the backup or even the third string quarterback might be black, might be white, but in this case, they're all black. So, you know, I definitely want that. You know, I'm going to kind of disagree with you with the 49ers. The reason I'm saying that is because, you know, we talked about weeks ago how the big wench, Kimberly A. Martin, how she said some disparaging things about Cam Newton and how she basically was saying he was wrong. Now, he said this specifically. Now, for the exception of Brock Purdy, all these other quarterbacks, they out the playoffs. He talked about Tua being a game manager because he had Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. You know, he talked about Dak Prescott being a game manager. Dak Prescott is no longer in the playoffs. And now we down to Brock Purdy. And, of course, the whole season Brock Purdy has had Deebo Samuel. He's had George Kittle. He has had Christian McCaffrey. And truthfully speaking, I think this is going to be the best defense that he's played since they played against the Ravens on Christmas Day. And truthfully speaking, like you said, you brought up an excellent point in terms of Jared Goff being there already. Jared Goff has been there in terms of the Super Bowl. Now, don't get me wrong, he got there via a terrible call that went against our Saints. I'm not going to say a terrible call. I'm going to say a terrible no call that went against our Saints. But even with that being said, I think if anybody, and truthfully speaking, they barely escaped with a win against the Packers. So, truthfully speaking, I really could see the Lions beating them. You know, Lions play real good defense. You know, they solid on offense. They got a good running game, good quarterback. I see the Lions pulling the upset in the NFC Championship game. And I agree with you, just like my brother Jerry Lovin Green. I see the Ravens beating the Kansas City Chiefs in dominant fashion. Of course, he said he agreed because he's a Ravens fan. So, he agreed with both of us. So I see the Ravens, winning in dominant fashion. And I see the Lions pulling a major upset. I'm not going to say a major upset. I'm going to say upset. I think a lot of people, betting on the 49ers, but I think in this particular context, I think more than anything, I think the Lions are going to get the job done. I think it's going to be a close game, but I think they're going to pull an upset. So, that's my particular thoughts on the game. Anything else you want to add in terms of this particular topic, Ram?
No. Now, I don't got nothing else to add about this topic.
All right. So, in terms of like any closing thoughts, do you have any closing thoughts in terms of just the overall show in general?
Overall, I feel like we had a good show. We brought up a lot of good points on topics. We discussed a lot of issues that we see what's wrong with the NBA. That's wrong with the NFL and just sports in general. I'm gonna just say this: I wish the leagues really listen to their fans' opinions more. And if they did, we will see a perfect game. I know there's a lot of different opinions out there, but I feel like overall sports fans, I feel like we overall can agree that sports in general has become more soft, especially for the amount of money that these athletes are being paid. They literally play a child's game to get paid millions, bro. Like, come on now, dog. We don't want them to go out there, kill themselves or die, but come on, bro. Like, the worst thing that could really happen to some of y'all is y'all tear ACL. You're not gonna go out there and die. You're not in the Marines or anything. So that's the only thing I would say is that the league start listening to our feedback and our opinions and just give us that real authentic game of sports back. But yeah, y'all follow me on my social media. King Ray on Instagram, Raymond Collins on Facebook, Ray Swank 225.
Race Swank 225, yeah.
On YouTube, I upload messages and I upload some beats. So I make beats as a hobby. Still working in progression and progressing towards my beats, mixing and mastering to help them sound more clear and things like that. But those are the two main subjects that you're gonna find on my YouTube, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah, and I saw your subscribers had went up a little bit on your YouTube channel too, huh?
Yeah, I don't know who those subscribers were. I don't think sometimes they show me who subscribed to me, and sometimes YouTube don't show me who subscribed to me. Like, I get a notification like this person just subscribed to you, but most of the time I don't get notifications. But whoever they were, if it was due to the live, due
I'm
to
thinking that's what it is. Yeah.
the Bayou Sports Talk, appreciate y'all. Shout out to y'all. Thank y'all for the support and the view. Thank y'all for the support, the views, and the subscribers.
Yeah, and you brought up an excellent point. I think the NFL, the NBA, I think just all leagues in general across college sports, wherever, they should listen to the fan base more, and they should give us what we want as fans. And like you said, Raymond, I agree with you 100%. I feel like it was an excellent show. We had some great conversation, real good back and forth dialogue. And more than anything, of course, you can catch me at Coach 67 Sports TV on all social media platforms, on X, which is formerly known as Twitter. You can also catch me on Instagram, on TikTok, but more than anything here on YouTube. If you have not done so already, please go check out my Southern University top 5 running backs, which is the second episode of that particular series. Go check that out if you have not done so already. Later on, I'm going to upload some footage because Southern University is playing against Arkansas Pine Bluff. So I'm getting ready to head to the basketball game. So y'all check out some clips. I'm going to drop a couple clips from the game here on this particular channel. In addition to that, Rude Dog is no longer on Bayou Sports Talk with us. He trying to branch off doing his own little thing. So catch us tomorrow on Live starring Rude Dog. That's going to be at between 5:30 and 6 p.m. Central Standard Time tomorrow. And check myself and my brother out, Charity Loving Green, on his channel, Southern Baller Show, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Hopefully y'all enjoyed the show. We want to give a major shout out to the LDDC. We want to give a shout out to everybody that's been supporting us, that's been rocking with us since day one. We appreciate the love, appreciate the support. If you have not done so already, like the video, share the video, comment in the comment section, subscribe to the channel. Also, click the notification bell so you can be alerted anytime we post any new videos, anytime we go live like today. We'll catch y'all on the rebound. Y'all have a blessed, phenomenal weekend. We'll catch y'all next weekend. Peace and blessings.